All right, now we're going to learn about the point-slope form. In a previous video, we learned about y-intercept form. The y-intercept form is great if you know the slope and you know the y-intercept. If that's given to you in the problem, then that's great. Or if you see an axis and it goes straight through one of these dots, awesome. But what if you don't know the y-intercept? What are you going to do? Well, now you can use the point-slope form. And the point-slope form is right here. Basically, it's called point-slope because all you need is one point and the slope. The slope is m. You can see that's in front of the x values here, just like it is in the y-intercept form. But now you have this x minus x1 and this y minus y1. Well, the numbers on the right-hand side of the minus sign, the y1 and the x1, that's the point that's given, okay? And it's important to notice that they come after a minus sign. Process all that. Let's just do some, and this will make a lot more sense, okay? Let's do this first one right here, okay? So y minus 3 equals negative 1/3 x minus 1. Well, the formula we learned is that on the right side of that minus sign, that's a given point. Now, here's where people make the mistake. They'll see that as, well, the 1 will go with the x and the 3 will go with the y, but they see that as a negative 1 and a negative 3. Here's the weird part. The formula already has the minus. So the numbers you plugged in here, these are actually positive. So the point that I need to give is going to be 1, 3. Okay, the 1 is going to go with the x and the 3 is going to go with the y. Okay, so I start by doing that point. We're going to go, my x is 1, my y is 3. I'm going to start right there. Now I'm just going to do my slope of negative 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. Or up 1 over 3 this way. You can think of it as either way you want. Okay, and then that is what that line is. So all I do is I figure out the point first, and then I do the slope. And if you notice, it's not going anywhere neat on that y-axis. That's okay. We don't really need to know that. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to this red one down here. Now, if you notice, I put a plus sign in here. So that's going to muck up everything. So first of all, the 1 goes with the x. That's fine. I know the point I'm going to have. That's going to be a normal 1 because it's on the right-hand side. However, if that's a plus 4, wouldn't that be the same as y minus a negative 4? And that would turn into the plus. So my y value is actually a negative 4. So whenever we have the parentheses that show a point, and this happens in other formulas that we're going to use later on, especially in Algebra 2, you're going to go with the opposite signs of what you see inside the parenthesis. So even though it says negative 1 and a positive 4, it's positive 1 and negative 4 are going to be my points. So I'm going to start with my x here and my y down here. What's my m? It's right there, 2/3. Up 2 over 3. Boom. And that's all you have to do. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Now the other way is to look at the graph and be able to come back to it. So why don't we do that real quick? Okay, here's a graph right here, and let's go to the equation, okay? Now, this looks like it crosses at 4. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if they don't give you a dot, it might be 4.001. Who knows, right? But they did give us a dot for a point, and we do have a slope that we can figure out. So let's just go ahead and start right there. So as I look at this one right here, I go, okay, well, I've got 2 points right here. So that's one way I can start, and I can figure out a slope. Let's go ahead and figure out the slope first. So let's go ahead and figure out what our m would be. So if I'm going here, I'm going down 1, and I'm going over 1, 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. So my slope is going to be negative 1 over 2. So when I set it up, I'm going to have y minus something equals negative 1/2 x minus something. I just got to figure out those somethings. Now, here's the way this works. Which point do I plug in? The answer is it doesn't matter. It can be any point on this graph and it'll work out, okay? So on here, let's just use the first one. My x is 1, my y is 3. My x is 1, my y is 3. Done. If I put a 2 there, okay, for this, sorry, if I put a 3 there for that x, or sorry, a 2 there, 4 there for that x, sorry, 2 there for a y, if I went 4 and 2, I would get the same answer. It would still work. So as long as you have a point, you're golden. You're going to be fine. Okay. Now let me just make one up. Let's go. This time I'm only going to give you 2 points. You can do this if you're only given 2 points. Let's go -3 and 2, and let's go 4 and -1. So those are 2 points that I've just been given. So now I've got to figure it out. Well, do I have a point? Yeah, in fact, I have 2 points, okay? I only need one of these points as we learned here, but I need a slope. I don't have a slope, so what do? You go back a couple videos where I showed you how to take 2 points and turn it into a slope. And that's where we subtract the y's over subtract the x's. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start the y's top to bottom. So I'm going to go 2 minus a -1, 2 minus a -1 over -3 minus 4. Now, as we learned before, that's an add a line, change a sign, add a line, change a sign. And if I go 2 plus a +1, I'm going to get 3 over -7. Okay, well, that's quite a slope. But so my equation is going to be, let's just go ahead, let's go with the top one right here. I'm going to get y minus, well, what's my y here? Just a normal 2. No big whoop there. Boom, boom. Equals, my slope is 3 over -7. And then what do I do here? X, now what am I going to write? I need it to be a -3. How do I make it -3? I'm going to write +3 because we want the signs to be opposite. And this right here would be the equation of a line going through these two. Now I can go up here, I can graph it. Why don't we just do that real quick? We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's my starting point. That's my point. And I'm going to do a graph of -3 over 7. Well, that's going to be a little bit weird. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something over here. Okay. And again, I'm going to have better graphs on the practice sheet. So go ahead and take a look at that. And then also we're going to have on a practice sheet, so you're going to want to do all 3 of them, A, B, and C. We're going to give you a point and we're going to give you a slope and you have to graph it. Or we'll give you 2 points and you're going to have to graph it. So watch me do those on the worksheets. Go with me on it. I'll meet you on those videos, and I think you'll start feeling really comfortable about how point slope works.